Hi, I'm Kristin Duncan. I'm a real estate agent in Orlando, Florida, and today in our new construction series, I want to talk about hidden or unexpected closing costs with new construction. And I always like to compare this to buying a car. When you buy a car from a dealership, you expect extra dealer fees. It's going to cost a little bit more because you're getting exactly what you want. The same is true with a house, that it's a little bit more money up front and more closing costs to get a brand new home. Typically, that's the general rule of thumb. So let's talk about some of those costs. When you buy a resale property, so a house that's already been lived in, and you get a loan from a lender, you can expect your closing costs to be about 3, maybe 3.5% of the purchase price. Again, just a general rule of thumb. When you're purchasing new construction, it's likely going to be a little bit higher, 3.5%, 4.5%, 5%, even 5.5%. I've seen it go up that high. So these extra closing costs are fees to the builder. You're likely going to pay some of the seller or the builder's closing costs as well, whereas a resale home, the seller would typically pay those. And there's going to be some extra fees, HOA fees, fees to the builder. So expect more in closing costs. Since we mentioned the lender, let's go that route next. Sometimes the builder-lender will offer to give you some cash up front to help pay for those closing costs. I do recommend speaking with another lender that's not the builder's lender, just to compare and contrast. Sometimes and oftentimes the builder's lender is a great deal, but they are going to charge you some extra fees, possibly. And sometimes another lender can offer you a better interest rate, which is better in the long term. So talk to 2 different lenders and explore those hidden fees and closing costs. So when you're building a home in a community with an HOA, you're likely going to pay something called a capital contribution fee upfront. Normally this is tied into your closing costs, not always, but normally it is 9 times out of 10. And this capital contribution is a one-time fee for joining the HOA. And what this does is kind of help them pad their account so that your HOA isn't starting with $0 in the account. As the community grows, they're going to have a little bit of a nest egg in there in case they need to replace anything or make a pool repair or whatever it may be. I've seen these capital contributions vary greatly. I've seen them be $100 and $150. I've seen them be $5,000 and $6,000. Typically, it's somewhere in between. I would say the average here in Central Florida is between $500 and $1,500, but expect to pay an upfront fee to the HOA, typically as part of your closing costs. Something else to keep an eye out for is a CDD, and this stands for Community Development District. This is typically going to be added onto your property taxes in a new construction community. And it usually has an end date, but it's kind of far. It's usually 10, 20, 30, even farther down the line. So probably while you live in the house, you will be paying this CDD. And this is for the infrastructure in the community. Sidewalks, lights, maybe fencing, the brick wall around the community, anything like this, it's going to pay for in a new construction community. There are also some items within the home that are not included with new construction. They typically are not going to include blinds on your windows, so that's going to be something you have to pay for pretty quickly up front. Same thing with a garage door opener. Seems like it would be included. Again, 9 times out of 10, it's not. It's going to be an immediate upfront cost. Refrigerator is often not included, 50-50, whether that is here in Florida or not. Washer and dryer, and sometimes there's just some random other things like overhead lights and ceiling fans in the bedrooms. So even though you're getting a new construction, plan on spending a few $1,000s on the house right away. So the final one I want to talk about is maintenance of the house. You have a brand new house, you shouldn't have to replace the roof for 10 to 15 years, hopefully more. You shouldn't have to replace the AC for quite a while. However, you're still going to have maintenance on the home that starts almost immediately. A great one here in Florida is the AC. Once or twice a year, you're going to want to get your AC serviced, and this will extend the life of the AC and extend the efficiency of the AC as well. It's typically a $100 to $300 servicing. It's nothing too crazy, but you're going to want to do that every 6 months or every 12 months right away. Another thing is stucco. If you have not lived in a block home covered in stucco before, it's something you have to maintain. You cannot wait 10 to 15 years to paint your house or repair stucco cracks, or you're going to have water get behind the stucco because we have so much rain and it's going to start crumbling. So probably once a year or so, you're going to want to go around your house and see if you have any stucco cracks, caulk those, paint over them, and same thing with windows since you're going to be out there, working on it anyways. So that maintenance is going to happen right away. So there's a few things like that in Florida that you're going to keep an eye out for. And again, generally, you're not going to need to replace those large items right away, but you will have some maintenance immediately. Thanks for watching my video. If you have any more questions on new construction, My team and I will be more than happy to assist you, and keep watching the series. We have lots of great info about new construction and buying and selling homes in Florida.